So we have the next drawing. Here's the sketch. So this is me just kind of messing around, putting notes down of like anything that I could think of just to kind of help her explain kind of what I was doing. I know what's going on, but it just kind of helps just to get thoughts on paper. So this is the one I kind of ended up going with. I kind of like the way it looked most. And then yeah, so here's a quick drawing. I don't use all these colors, like I didn't use the orange. I just stuck with using black, gray, purple, green, yellow, and red. Because it's supposed to be like kind of like a night scene, and obviously the nightmare, because that's what I'm drawing. I know I didn't say that. If you read the title, you'll know what I'm drawing. But because the nightmares, if you think about it, black, red, and yellow because of the mane and the fieriness. But here's a starting sketch. So I'm actually like very happy with it right now. I am using this posable doll as reference, if you will, just to like, he doesn't do that much movement because I don't want to break it either, but I can still kind of just look at it and compare. Like obviously like this isn't going to be exact. I think this is the shoulder technically, and then this is would be the bicep, and then you have the forearm, and then I don't know what the rest of the, I don't know proper anatomy names, but so that's where we're at right now. But yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with how he's turning out. A lot of this is very just roughly laid in because I'm more worried about the actual character than I am the background with the plants, because I am actually about to draw all this in, which you'll also see some of the process of me putting down details, because we'll draw some of him in and we'll just go from there. So I'm gonna work on this for a bit and then we'll come back and we'll probably do work on the legs, and maybe this part down here is what we're gonna do, and then we'll go from there. So first up, we got a little sketch piece here of me just continuing on with what I'm already doing, as you can see, because that's what I do. I start and then I stop so I can show you guys my little bit of process. But so yeah, so now I'm just drawing the back leg. I was using the model a tiny bit with this, but because I couldn't exactly move it, or I guess pose it to how I actually wanted it to, I was still kind of just doing imagination wise of what I wanted to do. So yeah, but then right here I'm just kind of drawing in a little more darkly of what I need there, and then later on I'll go in and add in more detail, which you'll see in a second with a darker pencil. But this just helps me kind of lay things out so I know where it's all going. So yes, now I'm going on Benwick and going back in with a darker pencil because I can't talk. And now I'm just adding in more of the lines. So I'm not doing any fur or anything like usual, just because I will be going back in later to fix it. And then when I do the pencils, it just loses a lot of the lines. So I'm like, it's just extra work I don't need to do. So that's why I always just do like the bare pencil. And then just so I can get like the basic outlines, so I know what I need to mark whenever I do the line art. That's what's going on. So, because then some of it, for the most part, will stay the same when I outline it. Some of it might change a little bit just because I don't follow a line exactly. But for the most part, that's how it's supposed to be. Like this is pretty much what it will look like when I get there. And then for the flowers, I just did like little bubbles. I didn't really make like an actual like flower. I kind of just saw them as being like little groupings of bubble petals or something. I have no idea. That's kind of what it was, but it's also like the main focus, so I don't have to worry about too much about it being like super detail oriented. The grass, I did put blades in just to show it's growing and it's not like super far away, so it's a little closer, so the blades make sense. And then just kind of doing the flower just behind them, just for layering and just making it a little more interesting versus just like one superficial layer, you know? Because that's what they teach us in art school, or art class, I suppose. Try and overlay things to make it a little more interesting, give it some more depth. But now I'm looking at it to see if there's anything I need to change. Alright, so I think I'm pretty much done with the pencil. I was kind of like that little last segment was me just kind of looking at it. I think I do see a problem now that I'm took my eyes off it for 2 seconds. Oh no, what did I do? I ruined it. Oh no. Because I was trying to make the hooves bigger because I kind of like how big these hooves are. I think that kind of worked. I'll probably need to actually go back and, I don't know. This is a, turn it into a kerfuffle. I screwed it up. Oh no. Because I know like the hooves aren't that big. But since I'm not completely accurate, and I'm kind of weird about how big like appendages are and whatnot, just because of how I like to draw them. I mean, overall though, like he's pretty good. He's definitely like he's definitely fine, I think. Because I like the proportions for the most part. But I mean, even looking at it, like I think overall he's okay. I mean, I think it's fine that these aren't like super big because again, even on a normal horse, they're, if you think about it compared to the body, they're relatively small. So I think it's okay. And like I don't have a comparison. I can compare it to, because like whenever I do like hands, I know the hand is as big as a face. So sometimes I will compare the hand to the face to make sure it's like, if I think it's a little too small, I'll compare it. And if I think it's like fairly okay, then I'll roll with it. But like there's not really a comparison like to a different body part I can do. So that's why I'm having to just kind of go off with the way it looks now. I'm standing up now so I can actually kind of look at it from above. But I mean, overall, I think he's pretty okay. I mean, I guess maybe back here is a little small, but I guess also like perspective, I could get away with it thinking of that. Because I was trying to, because whenever I was doing it, I kind of did it like this, and then I drew the, I guess I blocked it off here. I erased it, but blocked it off, and then finished drawing it so we could get this curved part. Because that's what I do is whenever I do these body parts, like even for the head, I'll draw a circle. Because I'll even kind of do like this, and I'll bring it in, and then I'll do like the lines till I can put out where the eyes and like the nose and stuff will go. But, and then I kind of come down, and then I'll do this, and then I'll kind of just bring it back up, because I'll do like the whole circle here, because you can see my lines where I've actually kind of cut away with the actual pencil. But when I do the green pencil, I just draw a whole curve for the chest, then I'll kind of come down here, and that's kind of how I set it up, and then I just erase the lines I don't need. That's also why I kind of do pencil twice, or I guess technically 3 times with the green, but that's why I have the lighter pencil to put down like the lines I definitely want to keep. And then I can kind of go back in and finish up with the lines I definitely, like darken the lines that are good. So, but I think overall, since I'm okay with him, I'm gonna go with it and move on, because it's always that stressful factor for me. That's why it takes sometimes so long for me to do certain drawings, is because it's like, once I commit with a pen, I've committed, right? Like I can't change it. So that's why it just makes me nervous. But it's like once I do the lines and I get coloring, I'm like, okay, it's actually not that bad. It actually looks like pretty good. But it's just like in the beginning at this stage, it makes me nervous to keep going, because it's like once you put down that pen, you can't get rid of it. So that's why I'm like, ah. It's the analysis, it's the paralysis phase. But I think we're going to go with him. Because again, overall, he's actually pretty okay. And I feel like, I mean, these are actually almost relatively the same size now, which I'm fine with. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but it's not the worst thing. I think as a whole, he looks good. Because I also did kind of make his limbs a little bit skinnier, like how horses, I didn't make them as thick as I normally would. So I think that also helps. But I don't know, I might, because that's what I was debating on too, was like how much thicker do I make these? Because I don't know. Because I feel like it makes sense, like to me at least, that the back legs are thicker if you think about it. Because that's where like more power comes from. I know it doesn't have it here. But like if they're, you know, like for us too, like if we're jumping and whatnot, our legs are thicker than our arms because it carries the most weight. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. That's why I always kind of do like the back legs like thicker than the forelimbs because I'm like, to me it makes sense. Because like, yeah, we have these to help like, move and whatnot, but I feel like most of the power comes from back here, especially when you do certain things like for a horse if it's kicking off. I think it kind of most, like, to me, it would mostly use its back legs to, like, kind of propel itself forward, I suppose. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just making excuses for why I do certain things. I don't know. But I think I'm going to go with him. Ugh. Well, now I'm kind of nervous about the forelimbs because now I don't know. Because they are definitely smaller than what I would do for a dragon. Let me grab one. So, like, here's my fire dragon. So, like, yeah, so even back here, I have thick legs. But then up here, we have relatively thick forearms. So, I don't know. But I might need to just go with it and move on. Ugh, yeah, now I'm looking at it. Now I think the forelimbs are smaller. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna... Fuck. Damn it. And I was so close. Ugh, frustrating. I know if it was digital, it'd be a simple fix, but that's not what this is. I'm not a digital artist. Sometimes I wish I was one, though, because there are times it's like, if I could literally just fix the size of one thing and make it all better, but it's like, I gotta erase it or start over, because it's just, like, too much to erase. Oh, now he looks funny. What the hell am I doing? And then I also like to compare between the thighs, so like the bicep and the forearm, or the shoulder, I suppose. I guess that's the shoulder. I don't know what I'm doing. That's just how I draw stuff. Because it's almost like it's connected. Like here, if you look, to me anyway. Then we have this, right? So if I take the back of the calf, so they're pretty even. I mean, it's relatively even, even like. So my other thing though is because I like to have my legs almost like a Z pattern. So that's kind of how a horse's is too, if you look at it. So that's kind of what, to me, whenever he would be standing, that's what would happen. So if this is a tiny bit longer, it's fine because it'll just, Now these will be straight, like how I do, that's how I like to draw stuff if I do it like in a standing position. So yeah, generally the forelegs are always straight, but then my back legs are always curved. So like even for him, like if he was sitting, that's why I'm like, I'm trying to justify certain things. So he would be slightly curved in the back legs. So, and even then, my little janky test of the comparisons passed, if you will. So, I think I'm going to go with it. We're going to commit, and then I'll be back for pencil coloring because I'm going to outline it really quick, but we'll be back for more. Alright, so now I'm going in with the marker. I am just throwing down some really rough color really quick. Like I already did the blocking of my stuff. So now I'm just going back in to throw some color in really quick so I know where the shadows are. Because what I was trying to do here was I know that I have the moonlight and I have the flame. So I'm trying to make sure that I get at least the edges. Keep the edges bright. And then I can darken in the rest of the bush is what I was trying to do. But like the markers, because I randomly grab these markers. They weren't super dark. But I was like, it's fine. When I do go back with the pencil, it'll be a lot darker. Which it is. Which you'll see later on. So at least this way I can at least look and just know where the lights need to be. And I did not add in the highlight with the markers yet. Because one time I did that with just pencil on top of marker. Like how it looks like right now. And I liked it because it actually I felt like kind of gave it like a nicer glow. Versus if I just done the straight marker, it would have been a lot harsher. So I feel like just putting the pencil on afterwards on top of the marker without anything else yet actually works very well. So that's what I did. So now going in with this marker on the body, I just use a straight black marker. Yeah, it's almost dead. I do have a refill. I just haven't gotten there yet because there's still some life in it. And I'm trying to get rid of these other markers I have. But at least right now, if you can hear that, I'm sorry. It's my dogs. They're fighting. I don't know why they want to do it right now. But so yeah, so what I'm just doing here is just throwing in that marker just to get the shadows pretty much. We're in like a little bit of the highlight. And like some of the spaces I do leave it purple, like in between certain lines, just so I know where the outline is. Just to kind of help with like the muscle structure and just knowing where the lines are. So just because it's not completely filled in black does not mean it's not there for a purpose. Because anything that's super skinny is me just leaving a space there to know what's going on later. The flames I did really simple too. I just had 2 colors. I just kind of left the outline outside of it lighter and then colored the more like inside of it with a darker marker just to give it a little bit of depth. Because I know flames, they don't have a lot of like different colors, but I was trying to make it a little more to what I do. I don't want to have it just like a flat color. I still want the different layers. Alright, so the marker is now done. So as you saw, I didn't bother doing any like highlight colors like yellow or anything yet. Because one time in another drawing, I had like a light source coming in. I didn't do marker prior to that, but I just added the pencil on top of the marker or whatever the highlight color was. And I thought it turned out actually really, really good. Because it almost kind of gave it like a soft glow effect or something. So I'm going to attempt to do that, but when I was doing shadows, I was trying to keep in mind of the moon and like the mane and whatnot and the fire and stuff on all of it, just so I could make sure that I remember to put down the yellow light, because I'm also going to do it that way. I actually might do orange just because of the yellow and the red for mixing together. But I did this shadows anyway, so I could still color on top of it, but there would still be like shadow bits underneath. So I think once I actually like do it, it'll understand what I'm talking about. But I think it'll work out better that way. And it's also funny because the marker is almost dead, but it's almost like ribs right here, which I think is actually kind of cool. It almost kind of gives it a slight fur texture, but probably when I go in, I don't know, we'll see. I've tried doing like a fur texture, but it's just because the Prismas blend so well. It doesn't work out that way, but that's alright. It's not a huge problem. But, so here we are. So far I'm pretty happy with it. I definitely think it's better than the first time. So this just looks so much better. So, yeah. But here's the middle progress. So now we're going to go into pencil. So I'll come back when we're ready for the pencil showing and to finish it off. Alright, so now I'm going with the pencils. Finally. I'm putting down the orange first because that helps with the lighting from the flames pretty much. So this top bush I'm coloring now, or I guess the tree top I suppose, I don't know what that's called. I didn't put as much orange as in other places because it's not as close to the flame as like the rest of it, so I didn't think it would need nearly as much orange. And I picked orange instead of like yellow or something just because I have red and yellow mixed in, and you know, red and yellow make orange. So to me at the time, now that I kind of look at it though, I'm like, it probably wasn't the best option. but at that time I figured it made sense for it to be orange just because the colors are mixing together to give off that light. So I don't know for sure like how correct that is, but that's just what I thought of. So I was like, too late to change it, we're going with it, it's whatever now. So with the background, at first I really did not know where I was going to completely go with this. Like I already had some of it started, as you can see, with the sky, because that was obviously like kind of easy, just knowing it's the moonlight, you gotta have the lights bouncing off. So I was like, okay, that's super simple. But coming down towards closer to the ground, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? So as you can see, I kind of left the space in between of where the highlights would be from the moon hitting it, and then it's coloring it like dark in the black in the background. So for pretty much all the shades, I was using gray, brown, and blues. And then I had like yellow, red, and green mixed in just to kind of help with like the transition of the leaf colors pretty much, like the grass and whatnot. So that's what I was doing here, because to me when it's nighttime, like those three colors in particular, gray, blue, and purple, are very good for shadow colors. So that's what I was had in mind of doing. So as you can see, I put down like the first layer of colors, and then after I did the green part, I was like, that's not dark enough. So I put straight up indigo blue on the bottom part, which I'd already done on the left side. I did add a little bit of violet in there just to kind of bring back in some purple, but I kind of liked, like, honestly, from where I'm sitting, looking at the real thing, it does look like it is purple, like a dark purple, so I was like, that's kind of perfect. So you can see me going back in with the indigo blue because I decided that the background was not dark enough for what I was thinking in my head. So I was like, all right, let me play around with it. At this point, I was like, it doesn't matter. And now I'm going in with black because it still wasn't dark enough. So I was like, it's okay if it's not like super, it doesn't need to be like detail or anything. It's like, I just need it to look like it's farther away. So yeah, so I added the black in there just to add in more darkness, which I think helped because again, looking at in real life, I'm like, it definitely pushes the nightmare and the green and everything forward. And I like that because now it is like in the background still, but it's nice. Like to me, it looks good. So then I go back in with the white to bring back in the highlights that I already had. So, but you can already see before I even finish the nightmare what it looks like. Yeah, I went back in with the black a third time because I was like, this still isn't dark enough. So, but I think this was the last time I sat there and used black on the background, but I just think it looks a lot better. I did fill in the clouds some more because I thought the clouds were a little too light. And then I just go black and back and blend it back out. But I think it looks really good now because I'm like, I think it works. So yes, now we're going back in with just doing the nightmare. So I only use 3 colors for the fire part. So I have the scream color, a lemon yellow, and I have gold. I was using the gold to add in a tiny bit of shadow. Not a ton, just a little bit. Again, I want to give it depth. I don't want it to be flat. And same thing with the red. I used the peach, a scarlet red, and a crimson. I did. Crimson Lake is what I used. I have the pencils next to me, so I'm like, a lot of these I use constantly because they're just my favorite color combos. Because like I have the same main 16 colors I use, so and each one has a very specific combo I use for like just regular coloring. If it's something like this, like where it's like either dark time or it's just a different coloring thing, then I'll use different colors, but it depends. But so then I go back in with the white again just to highlight the tips of it to make it a little bit brighter. So it's not like super dark. But even the little ember patches I have on there, because to me it would make sense. Like if he's got fire coming off of him, it would need like embers, right? Because that's where the flames are shooting out of. So that's why I give him embers. The eyes I was trying to make kind of light, like they got a little too dark, but I think it helped when I added the cream back in because it kind of lightened it up some. Like you can't see too much of shading on the smaller like ember areas, but I'm fine with that because it's like they don't need to be like super prominent. I was just adding in the multiple depths too just to make it look like it is moving and it's not like super flat, just to because it's like I'm imagining like lava, you know, between the rock and everything where it's like swirling and moving, like it's got different colors in it. That's what my intention was. So now for the highlight effect minus the orange, because I put the orange in there, which I don't know how correct that is, but we're going with it. I started with my purple. I don't remember what color this is because I've had it for so long. Like it's on its last legs. So I started with the purple to add in highlight colors. Then I went with a gray to start to put it between the black and the purple for when I blend it. And then so I put purple back on the white part because I was like, wait, it would make sense for it to be purple and I could put white on top. But yeah, so you can see how I blend it out. Like, it looks really cool because it gives it like different effects. So to me, it looks cool anyway, because I don't use just black by itself. Like, I like to give a little bit of depth with the purple and the gray. Like, for me, it works fine with how I like to do it. So that's why. Just for the blending, because it just looks very nice when it gets blended. But I just like how I added all these like extra little highlights and stuff with the white and whatnot. I think it just looks really good, and it's almost like he is kind of glowing because of the purple outlines, even though it's white on there. But it was like, I don't know, I didn't want it like pure white. I probably would have made sense, but I don't know. I just didn't want the pure white on there. It was like, I don't, because even the moon itself is not actually white, it's a very light gray. Alright, and here is the finished look, completely done, colored, and re-outlined. I'm definitely a fan. I actually think it turned out kind of nice. Like, even though, like, I suppose here there's like several different color things going on between like the two different colors, but it looks like from like top to bottom. And then I just have like the light gray parts in between. But it's like I was trying to figure out how to properly just do the muscles and whatnot, and just the shadow from the moon. You got the light coming off the flame, so I was trying to figure it out. I think overall though it still turned out really good. So it turned out a lot better than I thought it would, because, you know, I don't normally do like a bunch of like color stuff. I mean, that's probably not properly done either, but overall, I think it turned out great. So I might have to do more stuff like this, but we'll see. I just want to do a nightmare, just have something a little fun going on. But yeah, I mean, it turned out pretty nice overall. So, but like even with the sky in the background, I was like, let me just try and make it actually look like this moon is kind of actually is glowing. So that's why I was kind of like just trying to mess with the lighting and kind of blending it out as much as I could. Here didn't turn out so well, but I was trying to add in like this violet blue. But all together though, I'm fairly happy with it. I think it turned out really good. So, but yeah. Yay. I'm sure once I do horses some more, it'll get a little bit better. But I was trying, because I know, like, definitely here it's kind of funny. But it's just because of how I had drawn it when I was first sketching it out. That's why it looks like that. But altogether, though, it looks fine. Like, you could even kind of make the argument, like, it's almost, 3/4 view a little bit, where it's not completely, like, straight. It's more turned. So it could just be kind of a perspective situation, which I think could work. But yeah, so I'll probably draw more nightmares in the future, because I do want to stick with doing the mythological series. So I'm going to do ones that I actually like to do and that I want to do. So Nightmare is one of them. And we'll see what the next one is, because I have other stuff planned now. But yeah. So, but if you guys want to watch more, I do dragons, comics, dinosaurs. I'm going to start some new series here really soon. I have little mini comics that I do of all my characters. So please feel free to just tag along, join, follow along. Let me know if there's anything you want to see from me or any future stuff. And let's just grow together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!